All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to use numbers to find a linear regression. And so I'm going to go to my numbers app on my iPad. And when you get here, hopefully you're more intuitive at figuring numbers out than I am. You know, this Apple stuff is supposed to be automatic, but I always get myself a little confused. But at any rate, I'm here. I have no spreadsheets right now, so I'm going to push this plus sign up in the corner and choose a blank spreadsheet. Now, once I have a blank spreadsheet, the first thing we're going to want to do is just type in the days and the weight just as I see them. So I'm just going to type them in, and I'll just come right here. I'm going to have to actually get to this. Oh, let's see. So we started 0 days. I'm going to write them down as a column. I think it'll work better. And if you hit enter, it'll automatically jump to the next line for you. So let me type all these. 12, 19, and 28. And then over here on this side, we have 252, 249, 250, 247, 246, and 244. Okay. And now that I have my numbers in, what I have to do is I have to make myself a table. And there's multiple ways to do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight these. And now that they're highlighted, I'm going to come to this plus sign. So you see it up here in the upper right-hand corner. So I'm going to push this green plus sign right here. And you'll see it gives me a bunch of options of what to do with those squares. I'm going to pick the second option, which has a little pie chart. But what that's really saying is make those squares into a graph. And I'm going to look through all these graphs, and the graph that I want is this one with all the little plus signs on it. And it looks like, kind of looks like our scatter plot graph from earlier. So I'm going to touch that, and now you'll see that it made a scatter plot. And this looks good because this looks kind of like the scatter plot that we had earlier. So this is a nice scatter plot picture for us. Okay, now how do I create a line for this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch one of those dots, and you'll see I have the option to edit series. And edit series lets me go to those blue dots and make some changes. And what I want to do is I want to add a trend line. So you see the trend line option. Right now we have it at none. What I want to do is I want to change it, and I want to change it to a linear trend line because we're doing linear regression. So there we go. So we've made our linear trend line. And now if I look at my series, I have more options. So first, that's good. That looks a little bit like the line that we had in class. Now I can add an equation, and if you see the equation that was added right here is the equation that we had when we had from earlier, that negative 2.7 and 251. You'll notice they're in the opposite order from what the book ordered it, but just the one that's associated with the x is the slope, and the one that's not is the y-intercept. And then finally, one other thing you'll need is this r squared value. And so I'm going to click r squared, and it's 0.9312. And that r squared value ends up being a pretty important calculation for us, and we'll talk about it in the next video. So there you go. Hopefully you can follow through. It's not too complicated. You put your numbers in your table, add your graph, and then make sure you add your trend line, and then turn your equation and your r squared value on, and you've got your equation right there. Well, good luck working this through. You've got one more video to watch, and it's the last video where I talk a little bit about what this r squared value means and how to interpret it.